The Shell Ferrari-Maserati Historic Challenge, a race series for classic motorsport beauties from Ferrari and Maserati. Here you can see such rare racing cars as the Ferrari Daytona Competition or the 512 BB LM. In the middle of the frenzy of historic racing cars is a grey, unimposing Ferrari 250 GTE from 1962. The four-seater GTE is actually a luxury touring car and isn't suitable for the pursuit on the racetrack. As a result, even an experienced driver like Bernd Hane finds it hard to keep a clean line in this car. It takes hard work behind the wheel. With this car, the suspension is configured for comfort. It leans, you have to force the car around corners. The brakes aren't as you would expect or need. It's not so easy, but it's simply a joy for me to drive this car at its limits. That's always fun.
Es ist einfach eine Freude für mich, dieses Auto im Grenzbereich zu bewegen. Und das macht immer Spaß.
Only real racing cars like the 250 SWBs or cars with a verifiable motorsport history take part in the challenge, and that's exactly what this 250 GTE has to offer. The 12-cylinder was on the track 40 years ago. The car was advertised in the car magazine Auto, Motor and Sport as a normal 250 GTE, and I called up and the owner knew about its race history, but he didn't realize its significance. That is, that with this racing history you had an entry qualification, so to speak. I thought it was actually a good idea to take part as an underdog, or as some people say, a moving chicane, and air out the Olympic spirit a bit. At the invitation of current owner Wolf Zweifler, the original owner Hermann Cordes has also come to see his former treasure at the Nürburgring. Now wheelchair-bound after a stroke, Cordes drove the GTE in several airport races and even on the Avus circuit near Berlin. There is still historical footage of Ferrari driver Cordes' race appearances. Mr. Cordes is the only German who bought a 250 GTO, the epitome of the Ferrari sports car, and used it in a race. He also had other Ferraris, a 250 short wheelbase. He also had a 300 SL Roadster, all of which he raced. He's a legend because there's nothing comparable these days, and that a person could be so dedicated, even so financially committed, is something rarely seen these days. The times have changed too. It's just not possible anymore. Cordes, a farmer's son, fell for motorsport at a young age and was the only German to buy a brand new Ferrari 250 GTO. Scaglietti made exactly 39 of these cars out of the 300 horsepower GT. The price in 1962, 78,750 German marks. The young Cordes took part in races in the GTO, at times very successfully, until he ran out of money. The GTO was sold, but he still had the four-seater GTE and continued to race it. Wolf Zweifler bought the Ferrari in 2004 and installed racing seats, a cage and a fire extinguisher. After a long wait, the ex-Cordes GTE can once again feel the tarmac of a racetrack under its wheels. The 3-liter V12 produces a hefty 240 horsepower. But thanks to its long wheelbase and high weight, the Gran Turismo is not very competitive. Tight corners almost become torture. The engine performance is remarkably good. The 12-cylinder engine gets cracking at any number of revs, but because the car is so comfortably designed, it weighs 1.5 tons, and that's far too heavy. Those 1.5 tons have to be accelerated, 1.5 tons have to be slowed down again, and then 1.5 tons have to be driven round corners. It's hard. Professional Bernd Hane still sees a lot of potential for improvement in the four-seater Gran Turismo, of course. The brakes and suspension can certainly still be improved. Then the unimposing 250 GTE could still surprise the competition at the Shell Ferrari-Maserati Historic Challenges, just like 40 years ago with Hermann Cordes at the wheel.